Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be checking out the newest episode of Mushoku Tensei. We left off on a wild cliffhanger last week. Not only did we finally meet and go to the Flying Fortress and all the characters there, but also we ended off with Nanahoshi coughing up a lot of blood. And they've been teasing her sickness for at least the last couple episodes for sure. So I'm wondering if we're gonna be focusing on trying to save her, if that almost looked like it was enough blood to, kill her, to be honest, but I'm very intrigued to learn more about that whole situation as well, but I don't wanna waste any more time and hop right into this week's episode. If you are new to my channel, this is more of a watch along than a straight up reaction, so if you'd like the audio and or full video, you can sync up with your own copy of the episode. If not, you can see it blurred behind me and read the subtitles below me to follow along. I'll just give us a countdown. We can hop right into this episode. 3, 2, 1, start. 3 days since the last episode, then. Don't know why. Health and vigor. Are they just rotating who person? Taking a little bit from it? Oh, she's the only one not rotating anyone in. I don't think it's going to be that simple. Never that simple. Journal interference. Dang it. Oh, it's really willing to help. That's good. That's actually not surprising. But Rudy's gonna feel pretty helpless in this situation then. Dude, that fucking music in the back's going hard. Oh, praying for them. Yeah, that I guess that is true. They are in a foreign universe, so maybe she has there's no resistance or something. Far less mana. Yeah, I think it is because she's from another world. And we know Rudy as compared to her has an insane amount of magical power. It's why she wanted to use them. First, oh, interesting. That's when everyone evolved to the next step. That makes sense. Wars, battle, and conflict usually breeds evolution. Merely struck a bargain. Damn. So maybe a little bit less helpful than I was expecting. But I will not do the maximum. Interesting. I feel like I kind of assumed that. That's probably a revelation, but I've always assumed Lapras would come back in the picture because he's been talked about, I think, more than anyone else. Oh, wow. Careful now. I'm so fascinated by his perspective on the world. Yeah, I noticed that all of the fucking they're all starting to go into action. God, he said that with so much contempt. Can you? That is actually a good question. What can you do, Rudeus? Oh, that's good. And if for a little bit. Oh God. No, I was just gonna say you look awful. Well, the way they word it in the past, it almost seems like evolved past it, not that they ever found a cure. Fair point. Very interesting to me. How it makes actually sense thinking about his character, but how much Cliff is taking this. Like he really wants to do everything. Yeah, it's more magical than it. I mean, worlds evolve differently when you have different opportunities to you. But he didn't exactly get dealt the greatest hand. I mean, neither did Rudius, to be fair. Um, things went a little bit south for him as well, but I feel like he's much more ingrained himself into this world. Oh, that's interesting. It's like her body isn't aging, so it's like there's no dead cells for her to like grow hair or any expression. God. Oh wow. God, that was heartbreaking to listen to. God. And I'm sure that moment lives rent free in her head and it's all she wants now. Oh, with the music coming in too. Jesus. That is true, but Rudy has everything now. But yeah, their perspectives are so different because Rudy has learned everything like that here. Reminder of Duran. Oh, he's going talk to him directly. Let's play Rudy. I I'm glad we swapped seeds. It was starting to get to me, especially after Rudy started talking as well. Oh, oh, yeah. I was gonna. I couldn't remember her name, but her and Bottagati. He's got quite the connection to both of them now. That is quite the connection to have. Yeah, that is true. We've only ever seen her just wandering all over the fucking place. God, going on an adventure now with this whole crew and whole like unit that we got now is so. I love the squad we have now. All the characters. I'm sure she wants to go though. Oh God, that's got to be an awful feeling. Forced to wait again. Yeah, family's not gonna be pleased. Not a one-way trip for a couple years. Hero travel. Oh, that's true. And realistically, we took over all over the demon continent, so we can kind of jump all over the place to find new locations. Oh God, I feel like something's gonna go wrong. I feel like it is smart to split up, but at the same time, worrisome. Nearest. Oh, so we're gonna get tossed right into a dicey situation. We got the boys though, and grandma, I guess. I always every once in a while, I remember at the other episode when they mentioned the blessed child, but I always forget how strong Zenoba is. It is interesting being back here after so long. I wonder if this is maybe we'll meet up with Eris again. Yeah, I guess it's not everyone knows so many languages. What are we looking at? Whoa! That's aw it's like a giant crater. Wait, have we Oh, wait, which city is this? Is this where we met, Oh, I remember the I don't remember the giant, like, circle around it. I remember the area in the middle, though, with, like, the big castle on top. And I remember the entrance. Okay, I see where we're at now. That's also not the right photo. That power cap. Wait, has she actually aged up then? Or she's still in her little form? I assume that was her in that picture. I'm actually pretty sure I remember this as well. The way they animated his eyes flicking down. Bro was distracted. Well, the fact that they're looking for her. Oh, this guy's alive? I thought for some reason he died at some point. But he's Roxy's friend. Yeah, Rudeus is never very different interaction the last time we were here. I guess he was a kid when he was here. Honestly, I kind of believe him, but we just don't have good impression. Because him and Roxy actually seemed really close in that one sequence. Although even Roxy, I'm pretty sure, remembered him as like scamming and being a little bit of a scumbag. Find us some information. Oh, Bodyguardy? Yeah. Oh, no. His big sis also was not aware of that. Bad news, huh? I feel like we're definitely meeting up immediately. She definitely noticed something. Are they going? Oh, I thought maybe that she heard him and was going to meet the sister. That little frog dude doing walking by. I mean, that is fair. Did that was into season one, right? Where we met him. I love. I never would have expected this connection to be honestly between these two and Cliff is one of my favorite. Well, we found her. Didn't take long. Give her some food and we'll get a good reward. Yeah, took you long enough. Is Cliff gonna get a power up as well now? I wonder if it's the exact same animation or if it's new. Very reminiscent of her first introduction. What an absolute goober. How many wishes does she grant people? Like, it must be every time she goes to a city that she gets fed. What an absolute goober. Well, so we actually managed to find her in this episode. I thought we might leave off meeting Bodygotti, and then once they introduced his sister, I thought we might meet her. Which I assume at some point we're definitely meeting her. They wouldn't introduce a character like that, um, and have them say that also looking for her without it being relevant to the story at all. Um, Man, great episode though. I loved a lot of the characterization for everyone in this week's episode. Like a lot of great story for everyone. I love that sequence of Nanahoshi and Rudeus in the room because it really showcases the difference between them and um how they arrived in this world and just like the differences of being also like um essentially reincarnated as like a child and being able to grow and evolve through the world versus being like stuck in like a stagnant place of where you got sucked through the world. It's two very different looks and also just like their previous lives in the real world was vastly different because um I think she's still in high school if I remember right in the uh we met her. um so she's also younger, so she's had also less opportunities to fuck up, but, like, Rudy is really screwed over everything in his original life. Um, so he was much more looking for, a new, um, like, a new life, and everything he got and learned from this world was almost seems more important than he ever had in his real world, and it made him, like, look at like, I remember I forget what moment it was, maybe it was when he was, saving, uh, his sister when she was, like, all depressed and, like, locked in her room and stuff. He mentioned something about, "Is this what my older brother felt like when he was always trying to save me?" So, like, even he looks now and at his past life slightly differently, but, um He was not in a great place when we started this. And really, even like for the first couple episodes of season one, he's still like a shut-in and trapped in the house, even in this fantasy world, until he meets Roxy, and they form their bond. But Nanahoshi has not had it as easy. I this almost fucking broke me a little bit. I was staying strong, then the music kicked in, and then when Rudeus started talking as well, um, and just like his reaction and everything to her breaking down was even broke my heart even more. But like I really love just how much they actually expressed all of her concerns, and it feels like a real breakdown of someone where you start just like fucking letting it all out. Um, I'm so worried for her, but at least with the plot line, I'm hoping we're setting up to saving her because I would love to see her get sent home. Um, like I'm sure even if she gets home, like it won't be a perfect idealized life. Like she'll still have problems, and I'm sure there'll maybe be some backlash from traveling between the worlds or something like that. But I think that would be a really great point to end her story is we can actually send her home. Um it could also maybe be cool if like Rudy sends a message to his family or something um through them. Because that kind of is Rudius's biggest tie to like Japan and like our real world. Because regardless from that, like he's mostly disconnected until we really met up with Nanahoshi again. Um, especially nowadays, like I feel like earlier in the first two seasons, often we would be talking with the man god, and we would see his like actual form, like in his inner mind, where we see like his a human form from like Earth. Um, or like our world, I guess. Earth's kind of a bad term. That's really fascinating to me, and just how we don't really see that as much. And I feel like he's even more blended in with this world. I wonder at some point when we get like an inner world, maybe with the man god, like confronting him again or something, we will get him in his actual like. I think the last time he was in there, he was still in his like otaku body. But I would love to see him like fully evolved and like embrace this version of himself because it feels more like him and he's like changed so much that I feel like it would show like a very personal internal change as well. But just something I kind of thought about this episode because I feel like even though this was largely about Nanahoshi, it also really shows the mindset of a lot of the characters around her. Um, 'Cause she's been a side character since, like, season 2, and, like, we built her up, and, like, she's always been in the background, a little bit more isolated for the rest of them. But slowly, all of the group has become such good friends and, almost like a family in some ways. They kinda got, like, a knit really tight bond. I don't know what word I was trying to use. Tight-knit bond, that's what I was looking for, between all of them. So I really like to see, like, even Cliff and, getting, like, very like, he was at the speech, he was the one that couldn't hold himself or, like, when talking with him, he was the one that couldn't really hold himself back and was, like, had, like, an outburst of anger, which is totally fair from everyone, especially when despite him having, like, other duties, he did say that he could save her essentially in some ways, but, uh, can't, like, risk using the resources on that. Very fascinating character because he doesn't seem super black and white, he seems like there's, um some like grayness to his character, but he seems very like principled. Like he has things that he um like fully decided and does not waver on them. Even like kind of how like he was so against like demons at the start. Like he didn't even consider that she could have been like good or not an enemy or anything, which isn't exactly the most positive trait for someone in that sense. But I'm sure there's a reason for it, and it seems like that is largely just his like goal is just to deal with that, like the demons in Lapras. I think but art and animation in this episode especially, it really showcased Nanahoshi's breakdown super well. And despite how heavy of an episode a lot of this was, there was still some pretty funny moments. and it's really fun being back on the team and continent. I am worried about splitting off from Sylphie and leaving her back home again. At least this time, it's not just her there. We got Roxy and the whole family, and we should be able to go back and forth between the two places. I'm hoping so. Uh, I'm only getting more and more nervous as this goes on. Things have been too good for too long. Even like with this going wrong with Nanahoshi, I feel like it's still going better than it could have. Because I like she could have just been killed off all of a sudden. I wouldn't have fucking been surprised with this show, to be honest. Um, so I think there's either going to be a cost for trying to save her, and it's going to backfire in some way or another, or we're just going to get separated for a long time, or I'm expecting some point in this season, I'm assuming, we get a turning point 4. I don't know if there's, like, a set number of them, like, because the main story is done in the, um, light novels, I believe. So there's probably, like, only a certain amount, like, maybe I feel like I've heard people mention turning point 4, like, I don't know if I've heard a turning point 5, um and I could be wrong, and 3 might have been the last one, but I assume there's gonna be one big more moment, especially because I feel like we need to have another proper conflict with the man god. We haven't really acknowledged him too much since the whole stuff with, Roxy, I don't think, and going to save her, which he kind of was, like, manipulating the situation. It's like it seems like from my perspective, he really doesn't want, um Rudeus and Roxy to be together for some reason. Like, the way he separated them, even in the first season, like, they were always just, like, just missing each other based off the information where he was going and everything that was happening. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, he even got told, like, to not go, like, down certain, like, alley or something, or don't go a certain direction, and then that made him miss Roxy. Um, so he definitely has something, like, in particular against Roxy, and maybe it's because she's, a demon, and it has some correlation in some way or another, um, or if it's because we also know that Rudeus is, like, kind of just an out of place thing in this world, like, Orsted, like, always, like, he didn't understand that he was here, but there was should have been 2 daughters, from the Greyrat family, or I think it was either supposed to be 1 daughter or 2 daughters or something like that, and he wasn't supposed to be born, um something like that. So that's interesting to see exactly is going on between all of them because, like, I assume, like, maybe there's, like, a future or something where if Roxy and Rudeus get together, it leads to, like, just something awful, um, but I also have never really trusted the man god at all. I've honestly put more trust even though he's been, like, much more of an antagonist to him, I almost put more trust in the dragon god Orsted in some ways than I do the man god, just with the way they operate, um, but I assume both are kind of antagonistic forces to us, in some way or another, but I don't think despite how, like, earlier on, it almost seemed like Orsted was the final boss, I don't know if he actually will be for, like, the end of this series, um, that's always something I've never been confident about, the longer we, like, go on and learn more about all these characters. Um, yeah, really fun to see this dude again. I could have sworn he died. Maybe I'm just misremembering. I assume it must have just been the other adventurers or something that, because I know some adventurers die when, the 3 of them, like, the dead end squad is trying to save some, and, like, we wait too long or something, and they end up dying. And that maybe it's a part of his squad or something like that. I just know there was characters that did die, and I thought he was one of them. But it's good to see him again because I always really enjoyed how I introduced to him first as very much like a villainous force or like an antagonist, and then when we went and had that like Roxy solo episode, you saw her relationship to him, and it was really cool. I love how Mushoku Tensei fleshes out the world and the characters and like there are connections. Um, but I guess also this episode we learned that Lapras will also be returning. I feel like I'm saying his name wrong now. I think I had it right earlier in the episode, and I feel like I'm messing it up now. Um, And then we have our audience with her, and I assume the one wish will be for Cliff Last to help out Nanahoshi. And then we find out what exactly we have to do to cure her, because I assume it's going to be more difficult than just asking her and her finding a solution that like she just walks up and heals her or something. Um, I think it's going to be more complicated than that. It would also be really shitty. Like I just thought of this now. If in a sense she gets so screwed over that the only way to keep her alive is to like bind her to this world so she can never return to hers or something. Um, that could be a sad twist because you saw in this episode just how much she wanted to go home, and that's like basically everything she wanted. But I think that's kind of all my thoughts on this episode. I still need to check out the new One Piece episode as well. They kind of drop at the same time. Depends what I'm feeling that day, what I watch first. We kind of had a big cliffhanger last week, so I had to get into this first. But yeah, other than that, I will catch you guys all later, and I will have my One Piece reaction up in an hour or two or something like that. But I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and peace.